Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm still waking up, guys, so check this out. By the way, thank you for hanging out and joining. We are going to get into horror news, but in typical Davey Deathray fashion, I'm just gonna vamp here for a second. So like last year, I started like working out regularly. Everything was going great. Stuff was rocking and rolling. And then in the fall, I just kind of fell off, spooky season. I got a little distracted. Once you kind of break away from that, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. Once you take a little bit of a break from that kind of stuff, it's really easy to just stay away. So earlier this week, I was like, I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to do some working out, did some like free weight stuff, really like pushed myself to go until I couldn't go any further. Cause I just wanted to, catch up. I don't even think that's possible, but a dummy like me would think so. And guys, this was like Thursday. Yeah, no, this was Wednesday, and my body is still, my muscles are still tight all over. It's friggin' embarrassing, people. This is mid 40s, right? So I'm still feeling all rickety, and I love seeing here. Gannon says must have computer issues. I can tell Gannon is relatively new here. I mean, I know Gannon is relatively new here because I've got a pretty decent memory about all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Gannon, usually it's 5 minutes after the hour at least, because I like people, I just want that everyone to be able to jump into the chat, kind of say hi to each other. Showtime is never on time. And then today, just no computer issues today or anything like that. Just running around, and it took a little bit longer. But yeah, it's I'm gonna snap out of it, guys. I got my coffee here. We're gonna chug a little bit of coffee to get into it. I just feel like I'm not really a massage person, but I do just want to be like lightly beaten with a meat tenderizer. Like I don't want it to hurt or cause any damage. But the muscles are tight. Let's work that lactic acid out. You know what I mean? Again, I hope you guys are having an awesome Saturday. Hope Friday was great for you. We are going to cover some horror news. We've got some big stories. We've got some little stories. We've got a little bit of everything. So I love when this works out. Sometimes I'm like, man, I haven't done a horror news live in a while. And I'm like, well, there just really hasn't been like much news worth reporting. Like, I don't do every physical media release because I'm not really in that world the way that other channels are. So I can read off the specs. Not all the specs mean very much to a person like me. So, some of the stuff we just don't really cover on the news unless it's like, I like to talk about developments with, film, video games, television, that kind of stuff. So we're going to jump into that. I'm going to say what's up to everyone here. I've been bad about doing this lately, I'll say. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hype the video if you're watching after the fact. If you're watching after the fact, thank you so very much. It really does help a small channel like this. It is very, very impactful. And I don't know how I got away from this, but shout out to the moderators, the Patreon members, and the channel members. I know their names are all on the screen before and at the end of every live, but it still is worth repeating, actually verbalizing. So thank you so very much to everyone that's a channel member and everyone that's a Patreon member and the moderators, of course. So I'm going to jump in and say what's up to you guys, and then we're going to jump into this thing. We're just going to have a fun little hangout. I do want to let you know I have a super chat goal. If you want to hang out for a second hour, we'll get into the news stories. If you guys want to hang out for another hour and just either talk about those stories, talk about something else, whatever, 5 super chats of $5 or more will unlock that. It's not required. The super chat goal is never required. Super chats aren't required. It's just, if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, it's a really awesome way to do it. But yeah, we'll just kind of see. We'll see. Always going live and always giving you guys tons of content. That's the goal over here. James the Boys jumping in says, yes, I love when I get to catch a live stream. Yes, James, I know I was so late on replying to your comment. You guys, usually I'm a lot better with that. It's been a really busy time the last couple weeks. So my apologies for falling behind on that. There's not, really, essentially what happened last night, guys, is at like 3:30 in the morning. I was like, dude, it's been a while since you've caught up on comments. So it's like 3:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm just going to hop on the computer and knock these out. So there you go. But yes, James, usually I go live 4 or 5 times a week. So I would say, Wednesdays and Saturdays, it's pretty much a lock. On the weekend, it just depends on when, if I have something planned, I'll go live around that. You know, I still have, this isn't my job or anything. I'm sure most of you, I'm sure everyone knows that. So, you know, there's still work, there's just still personal life stuff and just some stuff I want to do. So yeah, I don't really have a set schedule, just to answer your comment that you had left. But yeah, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, that's a lock unless something, you know, crazy special is going down. We got Lenny, one of our great channel members. What's happening, Lenny? Welcome on in. Gannon is also a channel member. Welcome, Gannon. We've got Gene Whitacombe hanging out. My day's going very well, Gene. Honestly, because I was up so late, my day just kind of started a couple hours ago, a little more than a couple hours ago. Yeah, the birds started singing at like 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, well, I'm probably not going to fall asleep with this going on, so I'll work on some stuff. Let's see. We got M19 hanging out. What's happening, M19? Welcome. We got Christine. What's happening, Christine? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Hello, David. Ooh, very formal with the David. We got Asha in the house. Says, wah. I'm sat here in a beautiful park, surrounded by baby geese and squirrels whilst watching this stream. Utter zen. That sounds lovely. And are you guys still having really awesome weather out there? I know last weekend was really, at least the pictures that I saw, I think M from Horror, was it last weekend or was it the weekend before that? I don't know. It looked absolutely lovely out there, in her neck of the woods, her part of the UK. We've got Adrian James hanging out. What's happening, Adrian? Welcome on in. And guys, I don't even know if I said it, but Ash is one of our great channel members. How about that? And I love when the folks from the UK can jump on in. It's important to kind of stream at all sorts of times, you know, just to make sure everyone can snag one. We got Steph, aka Skittles, in the house. What's happening, Steph? Welcome on in. I hope you're having a good weekend. Happy Saturday. Davey in the community just got out of the new Mando movie with two of my kids. Fun movie, but got to pay $14 a ticket for a matinee ticket. Damn. So here's my prediction for this weekend. Star Wars is going to be third place. Backrooms is going to be first. Obsession will be second. Star Wars will be third. It's Mandalorian's having a rough time right now in the theater, relatively speaking to, you know, what Star Wars usually does and how much the movie cost, I would imagine. Holy cow, we got double feature podcast in the house. What's happening? It's been so long. Oh my gosh. Is this Mika? I think this is usually Mika. It's so great to see you. Welcome on in. I hope you ladies are doing awesome. I hope 2026 has treated you well so far. And yeah, great to see you. Thank you so much for specializing in promoting Twitch channels. Guys, I stream over on Twitch just because I have a Twitch. I don't expect to catch fire over there, but you never know. I guess you never know. If you overwork, you won't work at all. There you go. If I'm always working, then then I don't ever have time to sit and think about if I'm miserable about it. Yeah, exactly. Was looking at hair dye videos trying to decide which color. Ooh. So one side is light orange, then you got to do like an icy blue, like blue and orange go really well together, or like a deep blue with a light orange. Yeah, I don't know. Some sort of blue. Saying what's up to Lenny. Asha says, oh, well, I thought I was clicking on Asha's. He says, not drinking helps with working out too. Yeah. I mean, and I haven't been drinking for like 10 months, but I was like, I gotten pretty, even at that time when I stopped working out, I had not been drinking for a few months, 2 or 3 months at that point. So yeah, I mean, it definitely like helps, but I just overdid it. Yeah, it's pretty all right, isn't it? It's got all sorts of characters on here. There's all sorts of Freddy drinking out of a cup. There are multiple versions of everyone. It's wild. Ooh, lemon tea. The Evil Dead news is different, Asha. Evil Dead Burn news. We'll see. Yeah, I'm a big, I know you ladies are big on tea. I do love a good English breakfast tea, and I could drink an English breakfast tea at any time of the day because when you're a coffee drinker regularly, no tea is really going to give you that much zip, you know? Love a good English breakfast. Just the lightest splat. Like, about between a dime and a nickel size worth of honey at the bottom of the cup. Pour the water in first, right? Stir them shits up before putting the bag in. Then I put the bag in. Let that shit steep for a minute or two, whatever. And the tiniest little doop of cream, just a little, like not even a splash, like a drop, just to give it a little bit of creamy color, whatever. So tasty. What's happening, Albie? Hope you are doing very, very well. Guys, I was in a chat room with Albie over on Chris and Shell Talk Movies, just mere 8 hours ago. Hope you're doing well, Albie. We got Eli Cortez, our amazing Death Squad mod, and one of our channel members, one of our OG channel members, and a pillar of the horror YouTube community. Hope you're doing well, Eli. Hope the family's doing well also, man. Great to see you. We got Aaron Click hanging out. What's happening? Aaron says he can't stay, but he wanted to say hi. Hope everyone's having a great day. I hope you're having an awesome one as well, Aaron. If you got to go to work or whatever, hope everything goes well with your day and the rest of your weekend. And thanks for stopping in and saying what's up. I do appreciate it. We got Rick B. Jaman dropping a $5 super chat, says, hey, Dave B. Jaman. Now, does anyone really know I know, Rick, you probably know what I'm referencing there because I brought it up once, right? I don't know if I told the full story of my love affair with the song Lean On Me and the film starring Morgan Freeman. This was a movie when I was a little kid that, man, it's very serious, but it came out when I was a kid, and there's so many of these stories, right, where like a teacher goes into, like a school in a rough neighborhood or something like that, right? And they've just got this approach that even though it's this really dangerous situation, they're going to not necessarily like tame the beast, but they're going to find like the potential that's in these kids. They're going to unlock potential that shows the kids that they're more than just kids that are growing up in a tough neighborhood, that kind of thing. So that's like a whole subgenre of film. Like you could do double feature podcasts. If you guys haven't done a whole episode on that, you guys could do an episode on inspirational teacher movies. It's gotten to the point where even when Hamlet 2 came out, good God, if you guys have not watched Hamlet 2, it is amazing. Hamlet 2 is kind of like, the whole point of it is that the main character looks up to those movies so much and those inspirational teachers. He wants to be one of those inspirational teachers. That's how he sees himself. And they literally talk about, I think he like holds a pen cap in his mouth and he's like, inspirational teacher movies. So the story with the Rick B. Jaman. So when I was a kid, Cocoa Puffs, this is a big old story for a horror news stream. Cocoa Puffs did this thing where they're like, hey, send in the UPC, send in this much money for shipping and everything, and we'll send you this cassette. And it was a cassette single of Lean On Me. I think it had the original version on there. Is it Bill Withers that does the original version? I could be wrong. I think it had the original, but there was like a remixed version that I think was put together for the movie. It was probably the one that was put in a rotation on the radio stations. And it still had like, the chorus and everything, but it was definitely an updated like late 80s, early 90s hip hop beat, newer vocals and, re-recorded vocals with a contemporary artist. I can't remember who did it, but one of the things, they had a version of the song. They had multiple versions of that new single of Lean On Me. And they had a version where in the chorus, somebody says, we be jaman. I'm guessing it's just a Bob Marley clip or something that they pulled, a sample. So when I see Rick B. Jamin, that's what I think. That's what my Mystery Science Theater 3000 brain does. But man, that movie Lean On Me, when I was a kid, that movie like made me want to cry so bad. Oh my gosh. I just love I love a good redemption story. And I guess as a kid, that's sort of how I saw it, is sort of like, there's vindication for Morgan Freeman's character, because he certainly gets in trouble for doing some stuff that he, that's against, safety laws. But even the performances from the kids were so very, very moving and very emotional. Thank you for the $5, Rick B. Jamin. And thanks everyone for listening to a tangential story that doesn't have much to do with anything other than Rick's screen name here and what I think of every time I read it. Let's see what else we got. It is Mika. Love to see you, Mika. Hope you guys are doing well. Knew a man with a helmet and Baby Yoda wouldn't do well at the box office, dude. It's crazy. Davey, did you see Corporate Retreat? Asks Brock Savage. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Kind of repulsive. I didn't watch it. It didn't look very alluring to me. That we've had a lot of these movies that are like death game movies lately, you know, and I don't know if that's really my cup of tea. They all seem very samey, you know, like, hey, let's get a bunch of, you know, young actors together in a room and have some old guy tell them that they have to start killing each other for a promotion or something. It doesn't seem like, I don't know. It didn't seem to really do it for me. So I just skipped that one straight up. Sounds like it was a good move to skip it. You say kind of repulsive. I don't know if you mean, like, I guess repulsive isn't a good thing. You know, how many stars would you give it out of 5, Brock? I'm curious. One side's dark brown. I want to change. Oh, gotcha. Light orange on the one side. There you go. We got Gina, aka My Chunky Jordy. How are you doing, Gina? Give Ziggy Puppy Pup some love for me. We also have Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music, one of our great channel members, as is Gina. Guys, Gina's been a channel member since the very friggin' beginning. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yorkshire tea is the way to go. Is that a brand or is that a, I don't know. Because I'm trying to think of the brand that I would usually have with my English breakfast tea. And I can't even think of it right now. Why can't I think of that? What the hell? Tillerman's? Is that a kind of tea? I don't even know. Trying to like dig through the bowels of my mind. We got Hollywood Leto in the house. What's happening at Monster Palooza? I'll be thinking of you all while here. Could you just think about me though and send me some numbers? Monster Palooza sounds great. Is that where's that at? Is they do that in Pasadena, Leto? Curious to know. Davey, need to have you on my channel to talk some sports movies, dude. Yes. Oh yeah. Summer's a good time for it because some of the sports are on a break, but we got baseballs in full swing. There's a lot of really good baseball movies. And football, it's almost like it never ends. If you're an NFL fan, there's always some drama and some stuff going on. So yeah, I'd love to do that. There you go. We can recommend a great double feature for some inspirational teacher films. Maybe with a twist. There you go. There's even like The Substitute, right? That's another. Treat Williams, I think, was in that. No, Treat Williams was in one of the sequels. I think it was Tom Berenger in the original Substitute, right? I like how I'm correcting myself and acting like I'm coming up with some important stuff. Yeah, coffee's really good. I just love the flavor. Like the zip and all that. Sure. That's all great. I love the way coffee tastes. Yeah. Yeah, coffee's great. Adrian knows what's up. And T. Parker Evans, welcome on in. Welcome. Okay, 1 out of 5. Okay, yeah, looks like I did the right thing by missing out on Corporate Retreat. We got Tia Nina. Yeah, Tia. I wanted to say Tia Nia. We got Tia Nina in the house. How are you doing, Tia? One of our great channel members. Welcome. Guys, tonight I'm going to see Backrooms, and oh my gosh, one of my buddies just told me it was terrible, and I'm very frightened. I've already heard from a couple people lukewarm, and then my buddy John was like, it's terrible. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But I know I'm going to have a good time because I'm taking someone to the movie, and I always have a good time when I hang out with them. So even if the movie isn't great, it'll be like some significant looks and I don't know, some sort of sweetness to to make it easier to deal with, right? Yorkshire's a brand. Okay, gotcha. So I'll have to try their English breakfast. You'll be thinking of Twinnings breakfast tea, Davey. I prefer Yorkshire, but I do like English breakfast. Twinning. Let me see which one it is. So English breakfast tea popular brands. We are going to get into the horror news, guys, but we're talking about tea first because it's very, very important. So I've definitely had the Tazo teas and all that stuff. Twinnings. See, I don't recognize that one. But maybe it is. What the frick? Yeah, Twinnings, no. I don't think I've ever, like, I may have had it before, but the kind that I would usually have is, and it's not even Yorkshire. Dude, I'm just trying to, like, I just looked up on Google. I'm just trying to find the box that I'm used to seeing, and I'm not seeing any of them. So have I ever even really had English breakfast tea? Who the heck knows? Who the heck knows? Oh my gosh. I can picture the box and I just can't find it here. Anyways, I'm moving on from that. Too much time on the tea. But I'll have to check out the Yorkshire tea. I will. If it's the best, I'll have to give it a shot. Look at that. We got Ashley in the house. How are you doing, Ashley? Says, good afternoon, Davey. Hope the day is treating you well. Yeah, so far so good. I'm just a little like shaking off, whatever, the dust from staying up too late and fucking up my muscles by working out not too hard, but too much. Yeah. Trying to feel like a normal person so I can walk like a normal person later on today and have a lovely day. Iced tea is king, says Asha. Yeah, iced tea is really good. Backrooms was one of my most anticipated. So I've also heard people that really love it too. So I'm just going in thinking, well, there's mixed reviews. I don't really have much knowledge. I've seen a couple of the shorts, didn't even know what Backrooms was. Had no idea Backrooms existed until December last year. So some stuff is just way off my radar. But even before going to see Backrooms later on today, guys, I'm actually going to, hopefully everything goes as planned. So one of my favorite YouTubers, Tom Grossi, is going to be out here in Phoenix. He's a big Packers fan, and he does NFL coverage on YouTube. His channel's massive. I think he just hit 1 million, just like a month ago or something like that. And he raises a bunch of money for St. Jude's. So he's raised millions of dollars throughout his YouTube tenure. He's actually the guy that inspired me to do charity work here to raise money for the food bank here in Phoenix. Like, he was the one that made me realize, like, oh shit, even though my platform isn't like huge, I could still like do something, So hopefully I get the chance to, tell him that later on today. He's doing an event here in Phoenix because he goes around, like a couple years ago, he went around and visited all of the NFL cities, did like a fan event. He called it 30 and 30. So in 30 days, he went to all the cities, checked out as many of the stadiums as he could, which is pretty cool. And his YouTube star has just been continuing to rise. So last year he went to Europe and did all the stadiums that the NFL plays in Europe. And then now he's back here. I missed out on him last time because I was married and stupid. But this time I'm going to make sure that I stop in and say hi. Maybe get a picture with him. We'll see. Monsterpalooza is in Pasadena. All of you would love this show. The museum alone is worth the price of admission. Davey, I did think of you earlier when I bought my friend a copy of the... Where is it? Jaws art book, printed in blood books. Their Halloween art book is insanely cool. Friday the 13th is available for pre-order now. Nightmare will launch for pre-order in July. Holy cow, they're really cooking. Dude. Jaws art book. My brother got me this amazing Jaws book. It's like the most incredible coffee table book of all time. We got Nightmare Files jumping on in. What's happening? Nightmare says, I liked Backshots. I like that you, I like that you, I know you corrected yourself here, but part of me when I see this, I'm like, oh, he liked the movie, but he still wants to like get a little dig in there by not calling it Backrooms. That's how I read it, which I think is kind of killer. That's good to know, Nightmare. I'm going in with pretty blank expectations. I think my biggest concern is, how do you make a movie out of this? I think that's like, because I am one of those people that I see a lot of movies and I'm like, that didn't need to be 90 or 100 minutes or longer. Undertone didn't need to be a full-length movie, what was one that I just saw not too long ago that could, Passenger could have been a short movie. It literally could have been a short film, and I worry with Backrooms that even though Duder's got like a 70-page book of all the lore, that's all great, but if none of it's in the movie, it's going to be tough for an audience member like me. It'll be tough. So we'll see. Holy cow, it is Eli's birthday today. Guys, I would sing happy birthday, but it is copywritten, so I don't want to get in trouble. So I'll do the version from Upright Citizens Brigade. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. That's all they do. But I'll do happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish it were our birthday, so we'd be happy too. I just like saying happy too. I don't like saying party too. Happy birthday, Eli. I wonder if there's something else I could do for you that would make you happy on this special day. I'm kidding. That's on my OnlyFans account. No one will ever know that Deathray Davey is this guy. No one's ever going to figure that out. Fucking bulletproof screen name for my naughty side business. I shouldn't joke around about that because there are people out there that are not the biggest Davey Deathray fans. And they'll take that and they'll go and lie about it in the back channels, in the back rooms even. Oh, I hope they get lost the next time they go into the back rooms. T. Parker Evans says, walked in back rooms completely blind and walked out impressed and can't stop thinking about it this very second. It's a 4 out of 5 movie for me. Holy cow. That is a resounding endorsement. I've heard, like, you know, what Cecil said the other day is kind of stuck with me. He's like, if the creature thing in the movie works for you, the movie's going to work for you. And if it doesn't, then the movie won't. And I don't think the creature thing really worked for him. But I don't know what it is. Like, so I'm going in looking to be surprised by everything. Yes, happy birthday to Eli. I love it. Paula throwing out the love. There you go. I've had Earl Grey. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've had, you know. I don't know, what is it like for you guys out in the UK? Does it really seem like all Americans just drink coffee and that Americans don't drink tea? Because, I mean, you know, I don't know if that's the perception. In the spirit of, you know, full transparency and, you know, getting rid of perception being the reality, a lot of Americans do drink tea. It's very popular. Yeah, I mean, like, I've known people that don't drink coffee and they just drink tea. They don't do like high volumes of caffeine. So they're not doing energy drinks or 5-hour energies. It's just like, they just do like tea and maybe like the tiniest cup of coffee once a week, like on the weekend. You know what I mean? It's a very rare thing that they would ever do that. But yeah, tea is really popular here for sure. I mean, I would say, yeah, coffee, if you polled every American, coffee's going to win. But yeah, holy cow, we've been talking for like a half hour. I haven't even jumped into the horror news. You guys are amazing. You guys, it's incredible. No one's complaining. No one's like, where's the news, Davey? Where's the news? Oh, I got that one already. Oh, so I must have missed your second. Whoops. Lido, I fucked that one up. Yes. Happy birthday to Eli from Gina and Ziggy Puppy Pup. You're all good. I'm interested in seeing all these books. Very, very interested. Yeah, I'm curious. So guys, I'm going to watch it tonight. I may do a short non-spoiler review, like an actual short on the channel. That'll be something I'm going to try to put together, but I'm going to be out for the rest of the day. Like once I leave the house today, like I'm you know, I won't be back until very late. So, I'll do a short review. And then on Monday, guys, Cecil Laird from the horror show and I, and maybe some others are going to jump on and do a live full spoiler talk. So Monday night, I'm thinking, you know, maybe 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern, depending on who's able to join us. And yeah, we're just going to do a full spoiler chat for Backrooms. So if you've seen it by that point, or if you don't care to be spoiled, then jump on in. Yes, I love seeing the happy birthday wishes. There we go. Even Nightmare Files is getting in on it. What is the plan for tonight? I'm going to meet Tom Grossi, give him a high five, tell him that he's an inspiration and that I love him, even though he's not a Redskins fan. And then I'm going to go see Backrooms at 5-ish. Going to go have some dinner after that and then some other things. Yeah. It's going to be a fun day. What are you doing, Paula? What is your plan for tonight? We got Jamie Hart, our original Death Squad mod, our mama mod, and a YouTube channel member in the house. What's happening, Jamie? Hope you're doing well. It took me a couple days to get to your Taylor Swift song, Jamie, but I did, and I responded. Hopefully you saw it. I'm not sure. Okay, guys, I have blah, blah, blahed for so long that I am going to stop all the blah, blah, blah. And we are going to get into some horror news, but I got to say what's up to Ben Grimm, one of our great channel members. There you go. He is celebrating Eli's birthday in the utmost of fashions by wearing his birthday suit. It's comforting to know, Ben, that at least right now at this moment, it's just like cheeks on the chair. Cheeks on chair. Or maybe you're standing up. I don't know. Or laying down. Oh, Ben. Now you got the mind. The gears are moving. The mind is wandering. What can you do? What can you do? Feet pics, too. I love it. My feet are not terrible. My feet are not terrible. Seeing Backrooms in 40X this Monday. Wonder how they'll use the wind and water aspects. Or would they just put a smell into the air, you know, just make it smell like Comic-Con floor? What's happening, Tara? Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and jump in on everything right after we grab this $10 super chat from James the Boys. Says, I love supporting great content creators. Keep up the great work. I'm almost 44. We're about the same age. What was your first cassette purchase? Mine was Metallica's Kill 'Em All. Oh, man, my first cassette purchase. I think it was Nirvana Nevermind. I think that was my first cassette purchase. Vanilla Ice to the Extreme, although that might have been my brother's tape and I just listened to it. I don't think I got my own copy of that. So yeah, I think Nevermind by Nirvana, 91 or whenever that was. I was in 4th grade. And then like that Christmas, my brother Matt, my oldest brother, got me Countdown to Extinction from Megadeth on cassette for as a Christmas present, and that was, yeah, transformative right there. Love that record. I love Megadeth. So yeah, that's a good question. I had a lot of cassettes. I did a lot of mixtapes, you know, and all that kind of stuff too back then, of course. I mean, that's how you like, not even just giving mixtapes to like girls that you had a crush on, but just like making mixtapes for friends. You know, it was just a fun thing to do. So thank you so very much for the tenor, James. I'm really happy that you found your way over here, man. Shout out to Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast and Only Sans. I believe I think you were on Darren's stream when he had mentioned me, or maybe I was in the chat or something. So I love Darren and everything he does over there. And of course, love the Slaughtered Lamb as well. So yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's kind of how like things go in this community is you just stumble on other people, like, and then the more you expand that diet of what you're consuming as content, like you're just going to find hopefully more people that you really like. So thank you so very much for the tenor. Again, welcome to the community. The people in the chat, dude, they are, you know, maybe I can reel somebody in. The people in the chat are going to make sure that you feel comfy and welcome, and that you want to stay and keep on coming back. They're really awesome. Ooh, there you give us the full scoop, Tara. We want the full scoop on your Disney spring vacation. Now, did you do Disney World or Disneyland? I for some reason I get the feeling that you're on the eastern side of the country, but I could be wrong. There you go. Oh, you're dyeing your hair right now, Steph? There you go. I love that. I love that. And throwing out the birthday love. King Matthew, how are you doing? Great to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah. If only, right? If only. I would be like the most boring. Maybe I should do a whole thing that's like, in 6 months, I'll reveal everything. And then I just never do. Like, just milk it like a comic book storyline, or like the opening of this stream. Just keep on milking it and never get to the main event. Just never get there. So Paula, this is a bonus stream this is the weekend bonus stream right here, because tomorrow we're going live as well. So tomorrow I'll be live at same bat time, same bat channel. Foz Rotten and I are coming back for Movie Punks, SLC Punk. Watch SLC Punk tonight. I was hoping the stream could be a watch party, and then I was like, oh shoot, he streams off of his phone, so Foz wouldn't be able to necessarily watch at the same time. So unless I can convince him to just hook it up on the TV behind him. We'll see. But watch SLC Punk tonight. That's your homework, Paula. And then, yeah, tomorrow we're streaming at the same time. And it'll be Foz and I celebrating this amazing movie that, you know, if you haven't seen SLC Punk, you're missing out. It's so funny. It's very, you know, has earned emotional moments that I think work really well. Matthew Lillard's brilliant. So, yeah. Anywho, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this. Finally. Love hearing that. Never show off dem dogs for free. I love that. Dem dogs. Jamie Hart's birthday is Monday. Ooh, and she'll be doing a stream. Not sure what time. Shoot, I will be streaming at 6 or 7. Ooh, Jamie, I hope you either go earlier or later, but I got to jump in. So, you know what I got to do, guys, is I have to make sure that my notifications are set for Jamie's channel. That's what I have to do. Happy early birthday, Jamie. I know I'm going to be able to tell you on Monday. I've kept it in mind. I wake up and I'm like, it's Monday. Don't forget to say happy birthday to Jamie. It's on Monday. There you go. And happy birthday to Eli Cortez. Okay, guys, let's jump into the news. I really have just strung you all along. It's been amazing. We're going to start with some fun stuff, guys. Right? Is that what we're going to start with here? Yeah. So this is pretty interesting. McDonald's is getting in on the Backrooms action, and this is kind of telling, you know. Let's just do that there. So this is interesting, guys. As far as I know, there's no menu or anything like that. We're going to get into the article here from Bloody Disgusting. This is actually from Luis HC. I don't know if we've ever covered an article from Luis HC over at Bloody Disgusting, but heck yeah, love what they do over there at the website. And this is one of the reasons why I think Backrooms is going to do really well. Because if McDonald's is like getting in on it, then I don't know. I think it's kind of got the mainstream zeitgeist, you know, the favorite word of us McCrazies. Love that zeitgeist. So yeah, guys, the headline reads here: McDonald's no clips out of reality with unexpected Backrooms short movie. So awesome picture there, Grimace. I mean, this is just like they totally get it. I don't know. Do you guys want to watch the full video? Let me know in the chat if you want to watch the video if you haven't seen it yet. It's nothing too wild. There's nothing like really scary in it. It's just kind of funny how they catch the vibe and how they match it so well. And there is a little tie between McDonald's and Backrooms that I didn't even know about until I read this article earlier. So we're going to find out about that too. So let's go ahead and jump in. The best part about engaging with collaborative genre fiction on the internet. I'm going to have a sip of coffee and see if I can make it through it even better next time. Man, I did a really good job reading last time. I was on a good streak of reading without like fucking it all up. Sometimes my tongue just gets a little twisted. My tongue hasn't been working out enough, so it's just kind of out of practice. So I don't know. Maybe I can do something to change that. Anyways, this article says, the best part about engaging with collaborative genre fiction on the internet is that anyone can get in on the action, with worldwide accessibility often resulting in absurd story beats that wouldn't be possible if any single person was responsible for the entire narrative. And while Kane Parsons' Backrooms film is definitely the young filmmaker's own unique take on the infamous creepypasta, it's fun to see other creators join the Backrooms sandbox now that the big screen adaptation is getting ready for a record-shattering opening weekend. As if cleverly timed releases like Puppet Combo's The Backrooms game weren't enough, not to mention that Scary Movie poster poking fun at Parsons' flick, McDonald's official social media accounts have now released an analog horror video of their own celebrating the liminal terrors of the McRooms, complete with a familiar purple surprise at the end of the footage. Well, way to spoil it, guys. While it's funny enough to see the world's most recognizable fast food giant engage with internet-born found footage thrills seemingly out of the blue, the video is actually referencing a long-running gag among the Backrooms fandom, where creators jokingly talk about there being a fully functional McDonald's restaurant hidden somewhere in level 0 of the infamous liminal labyrinth. And Luis finishes off the article by saying, Now, would it be too much to hope for a moist carpet-flavored McShake to tie in with the film? I'm kind of surprised that they haven't done more of a tie-in, but I'm curious to know if you guys want to watch this, and I'm even more curious to know what McDonald's would have to say about it if I played it for you guys. So let's see what you all are saying. We got David entering the chat. What's happening, David? Welcome on in. Steph wants to see it. Let's see here. Anybody else want to see it? Steph's the only one that wants to see it. All right. 9 Eastern, maybe 10. Okay. Twin Peaks memorabilia and doing Q&A. I love it. I love it. Okay, so it doesn't sound like anyone's really interested in watching this, but Steph is interested, but it's over on Bloody Disgusting. I can even share the YouTube link. How about that? So let me do that. That way, if you guys want to watch it, it's 2 minutes, 11 seconds. Like, we don't, 2 minutes, 11 seconds of a Backrooms thing. Asha says, go for it. Steph says, yes, please. Okay, now you guys care. Okay. Now I had to threaten to take it away for you guys to want to watch it. I'm just joking. Okay, let's check it out. Let me pause the music here. There we go. And let's go ahead and get this rolling. I hate that you have to push play before being able to adjust the volume or the screen size. Come on, YouTube. Figure out your embedding. All right, here we go, guys. You've been here before. That's the name of this video from McDonald's, Middays, McRooms. Here we go. Love the breathing. Yeah. They really do capture, like, to me, I'm like, this seems pretty legit compared to what I've seen from the YouTube stuff. Ooh, a little bit of a change in the tone of the gears. I do like that. That's a good move from cut to change the sound. But somehow they found a way, like, it's creepy. It still is creepy. The chairs are facing the wrong way. No, it's a nightmare. I wish they had some of the art that they had in McDonald's back in the day was like some weird shit. I think it would be hilarious. Because I think, Backrooms is supposed to be like 98. It's like late 90s or something. This is like Scrooge McDuck's gold room, from the DuckTales opening. DuckTales, woo! You figure jumping into a, pile of coins would actually just like kill you and you wouldn't be able to swim through them. So this is, I don't remember McDonald's looking like this as far, like those seats are very like older McDonald's. That's probably 80s McDonald's. I would be very curious to know what that says in binary, if somebody wants to translate what that just said in the zeros and ones. But yes, guys, anyone that was around in the late 90s, you recognize the fry packaging is from that era. In the bags too, it's all from that late 90s era. Ultimate, what did it say? Something cookbook? So there's probably a bunch of references in here that I'm not even really getting because I haven't played the game or any of the games or I haven't watched all of the I do love the end with Grimace. It's good stuff. All right, let's get the music rolling. So there we go. I mean, guys, it's wild. For McDonald's to jump in on the Backrooms thing is, I mean, it's crazy enough to think that some 20-year-old kid who started out on YouTube is now made a feature-length film with A24 that's hitting the theaters all over and there's tons of buzz and all that. That's kind of crazy in and of itself. But now it's reached the point to where, like, the biggest fast food corporation in the entire world, I would imagine, they've got to be, right, is actually getting in on it too. So I don't know. What do you think? Is this fun? Is it silly? Is it a mixture of both? I mean, obviously it's a mixture of both, but I can't hate on McDonald's for doing this. I know a lot of people just sort of hate McDonald's. They kind of represent, I think to a lot of people, McDonald's is like, you represent everything that I hate in the world, but whatever. I don't necessarily feel that way. And this to me just seems like pretty decent fun. And if it can help promote and make the movie bigger, then I'm all for it. Like, if I made a movie, whoever got a hold of it and wanted to do something like this, I would be like, yeah, I'll take all the free advertisement you got. So I think it's pretty cool, and it's just a little silly story. So I don't know what you guys think. I'll just jump on over and see what you guys have to say. But yeah, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comments, let me know your thoughts down there, hit the like button, all that good stuff. I'm gonna hop on over to the live chat and see what these guys are saying. McBackshot. There we go. We're bringing the backshot back. Sadly working, but I'll be rewatching Ben-Hur tonight. 3.5 hours. Holy cow. Holy cow. That is an epic, epic movie. Rob Dean, welcome on in, says, I could live here. In the Backrooms / McDonald's. It wouldn't be so bad. You might get sick of it at some point, but, you know, as long as they have Pib Extra, we're good. We're good. Still never figured out what Grimace was. He kind of looks like a purple. Well, I mean, you could say that about anyone, right? That they look like a. I don't know that we're supposed to know what he is. I mean, he's not a chicken nugget. You know, he's not. I don't know. I just think he's a purple blob, and they just wanted to. I don't know. What's more interesting, guys? The backstory of Grimace or the backstory of Backrooms? I don't know. Would you guys want to see a Grimace origin story? I don't get it. This stuff doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, I mean, in the Backrooms short movies, like I saw 2 of them, and in one of them, the person's being chased by this like thing that looks like a robot kind of monster, like a robot alien kind of thing. I think they call it the Squiggle monster, but to me, it doesn't look like squiggles. It looks like a weird like camera tripod with like, I don't know, alien robot is like the best way I can describe it. And the look of the thing is sort of creepy, but I don't get any physical reaction either, Jamie. Like I don't get, there's nothing that hits me on like a visceral level, you know? I do like the 90s vibe. I think the audio design is what I find most pleasing about this McDonald's video. Definitely McDonald's in low-key vibes, yeah. I wouldn't know anything from a place back in the 90s. I wasn't allowed to use MC Deaths. Oh my gosh. It's not that, well, I don't know what it's like out there in the UK. I'd imagine the food items are maybe a little bit different, some of them, you know. Grimace is the scariest thing in there, yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about the lore. I guess I'll have to see what the game or what the movie gives me, and then see if I want anything else, you know. Grimace can't love within 500 yards of a school. It's definitely how he's looking there. Image tripping balls there. I mean, like even when he goes to the ball pit and then goes into the next room and there's like all the balls all over the floor. That was an interesting little thing there. It would be, who knows? Maybe they'll drop something crazy. Maybe they'll drop something out of nowhere. We never got the plastic balls at the end of our slides. Yeah, they usually contain the ball pit, the ballroom. Grimace is Grimace. He originally had 4 arms and was a bad guy. No joke. Gotcha. Grimace with 2 M's. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm glad they reformed Grimace and that he was able to see the error of his ways and everything like that. Guys, let's move on to the next story. This is another kind of small one here. I saw this pop up and I just want to talk about it. I know maybe not a lot of you guys have seen this. I don't know at the current, like where we're at currently, if many people are going back to revisit a movie like Cannibal Holocaust. Maybe people are, still discovering it for the very first time. I've only seen it once, but holy shit, it just like burned some images into my mind. And I don't know that I would ever watch it again, but I will say this, guys. Cannibal Holocaust, like it's one of those movies that I think is worth watching and seeing for yourself. It does, I mean, read up about it just to make sure you know what you're getting into. But I do think that even though there are a couple things about it that I wish were done differently, I still think it's got some value. So let's jump into this thing. John Squires from Bloody Disgusting with an article here and a headline that reads, Cannibal Holocaust heads to theaters with version you've never seen from Grindhouse releasing. So let's see what they got here from us. Man, one of the first, like, it's a mixed narrative, found footage meets traditional narrative, but it's very much found footage in Cannibal Holocaust. Very, so far ahead of its time in what it did. And yeah, and a very effective film, I will say that. Okay, so John Squire's article here says, Ruggero Deodato's cannibal classic, Cannibal Holocaust, is headed to theaters nationwide from Grindhouse releasing in a newly restored special edition, we have learned. Originally released in 1980, Deodato's controversial horror classic remains one of the most infamous and influential films in the genre. Grindhouse premiered the new version of Cannibal Holocaust at Beyond Fest in Los Angeles and is now booking exclusive theatrical dates in advance of the eagerly awaited 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray release. Woo! That's a mouthful. Cannibal Holocaust presents the found footage of 4 young documentary filmmakers who experienced brutal death at the hands of a savage South American tribe of flesh eaters. That footage will now be shown for the first time, fully uncensored and restored in its native 16mm aspect ratio, as audiences have never seen it before. So that's pretty interesting. So they're showing it fully uncensored, restored in native 16mm. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of a different look when we go to those shots in the film. All right. Grindhouse releasing warns, quote, Cannibal Holocaust is now more disturbing than ever. This is the ultimate version of Deodato's controversial masterpiece, the one that goes all the way. It's a whole new, it's a whole new and perhaps even more powerful experience watching the movie this way with the alternating aspect ratios, said Grindhouse releasing owner Bob Murawski, an Academy Award-winning film editor from Send Help. Oh, damn. This is essentially the same way we constructed Orson Welles' long unfinished masterpiece, The Other Side of the Wind. So this guy's done this before, and it sounds like it's going to be, a little more immersive, I would say, going back and forth with the alternating aspect ratios. Tickets are now on sale to see Cannibal Holocaust at Alamo Drafthouse Theater starting this Friday, May 29th. So that was yesterday at the Alamo Drafthouse City Foundry in St. Louis. So it looks like it's doing a little bit of a tour here. I'm not going to jump in and read too much about what the film is about. You probably know, it's about college students making a documentary. They go missing, and one of their professors, or a professor from the school, goes and tries to find them. And I'll just say that the thing that I was most impressed with in this film is that I went in thinking it was going to be some sort of exploitative, it's not a snuff film because none of that's real, but I thought it was going to be something that was just going to make me feel uncomfortable, and it was just like this oddity or curiosity. But there's so much more to Cannibal Holocaust than that, and I'll just say really quick, just in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, there's a few scenes where they actually kill animals, unfortunately. So they didn't have to do that, and it's disappointing. There's a sea turtle alive that gets cut up, snakes, tarantulas. None of the violence to the people is real. I think Deodato did the real stuff and then did the fake stuff with the humans to just really make it confusing. If you don't know the story about Cannibal Holocaust, they had to go to court and prove that the actors had to break their NDA and prove that they were still alive, because there were questions of whether or not performers were actually killed during the making of the film and all that stuff. So he purposely blurred these lines by doing what he did with the animal violence. And I'm not a vegan, I eat meat and all that stuff, but it doesn't sit well with me to kill a creature for entertainment. It doesn't, if it's not for sustenance and all, you know what I mean? It just kind of grosses me out. So anyways, that's the stuff you should know about Cannibal Holocaust before diving in. I'm curious to know from you guys, number one, have you seen the movie? Number two, what did you think of it? Have you revisited it? Have you ever gone back and checked it out again? And three, are you the type of fan that are you going to go check this out in the theater if there's, a showing nearby, to have that immersive experience and see how the movie hits you, on the big screen? Because I'd imagine most of us didn't get that chance to see it on the big screen. So yeah, just a little news story on a re-release ahead of the 4K, home release that they're doing for Cannibal Holocaust. It really is a classic horror film. People have mixed viewpoints on it and everything like that, but it's It's got its place in the genre, you know, and it sort of in a way, you know, is responsible. But when people talk about found footage, Cannibal Holocaust is the first movie I think of. I don't know if found footage happened before then. You know, TCM has like a documentary look, but in Cannibal Holocaust, literally, you know, for those sections of the film, it really is a character holding the camera, you know, so it does step into that boundary where, you know, when Blair Witch came out and people were like, oh, there's never been a movie like this. It's like, well, 20 years ago there was. So anyways, guys, I'm curious to know your thoughts on Cannibal Holocaust. Jump on into the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts down there. I'm going to jump on over to the live chat and see what these folks have got to say now. All right, what do you guys got for me? No desire to ever see this. I understand that. I definitely understand that. Yeah. I'll pass. After I saw it, did more research, got the feeling they didn't fully disclose what was going to happen. Really? I mean, interesting. I never read that. I did not read that, Gannon. So that's news to me. I didn't know that about the movie. I mean, there's plenty of uncomfortability in the movie. But there's also some interesting lessons that I think the movie has to teach. Odd to me that Cannibal is reviled for animal deaths, but Friday the 13th gets a pass for the snake. Maybe folks don't know about the snake death. I say that as a Friday the 13th fanboy. Agreed, it's a complicated thing. Yeah, I don't like that either. I think a lot of people do know about that, and I think it gets a pass because it's one quick shot, and it's unfortunate that they did it. But in Cannibal Holocaust, it's rough. It's much more of a thing. I mean, the sea turtle is bad. So, yeah, it you know, I still kind of cringe at that moment in Friday the 13th. I don't know why you couldn't have just used a fake snake. It's really, really bizarre. Already been shown 100% uncut, though. They're just clutching at straws. Well, but it hasn't been shown uncut on the big screen. So it sounds like this is the first time on the big screen you're able to see all of that footage. And it sounds like it's the first time that they have cut it in a way where they're actually using the true aspect ratio, which I do think is pretty cool. So Asha, I don't know if you saw, have you seen Late Night with the Devil? And maybe it's not as big of a deal like when you watch it at home, but watching Late Night with the Devil in the theater and it goes back from widescreen to that 4:3 like TV aspect ratio, I just found that so incredibly immersive. To me, it helped me, like, I actually enjoyed the movie more because I felt like we were sort of changing gears, like switching tracks a little bit back and forth. So maybe that is part of the experience here. I mean, I don't think no one's clutching at anything at this point. They know what they're getting into with Cannibal Holocaust, right? But I think the people that have curated this, they're like, hey, you ain't never seen it like this before. So come to the theater, check it out in a way that you can't see or you've never seen in the theater. And I don't know, is this going to be the version that's on the 4K? They may have remastered it for a 4K, but are they doing the aspect ratio jump back and forth? I don't know. I guess that would be a question for one of the physical media folks in the community here. It's about how McDonald's started. Cannibal Holocaust. Yes, it's all true. It's all true. He had to go to friggin' court. Was that in the UK that he had to go to court, or was that in Italy? I can't remember. But I know that, yeah, Cannibal Holocaust was part of that big old video nasties thing that unfortunately everyone in the UK had to live through. We didn't have to do any of that. We just call them horror films here. So video nasties doesn't really have a meaning, you know, to a lot of Americans growing up. You would have to find a frame of reference, you know, to specifically know what video nasty, you know, means. But yeah, it's wild. He had to go to court. They had to show how they did the impalement. It's kind of wild. Yeah, he was ahead of his time with viral marketing, pretty much, you know. Ben says, I'm a fan of the movie. I remember us watching in college all hush hush because it was a banned movie. Yeah, it is a really, you know, despite the stuff that it does that I don't agree with on like a sensibility level, it's not my job to censor him. This happened decades and decades ago, almost 50 years ago. So, you know, me hemming and hawing isn't going to bring those creatures back to life or anything. I really do think the movie has incredible value for, you know, as far as horror history goes. And I think it's actually got something really interesting to say. Honestly, like, I think Cannibal Holocaust is a great movie about like colonialism. and the way that, you know, certain peoples will go into other people's land and act however the hell they want and expect there to be no consequences. So that's what I learned from Cannibal Holocaust. It was transformative. The way you feel at the beginning of the movie and the way you feel at the end of the movie, you've been taken on this wild trip, and I had a totally different perspective of the characters by the time the movie ended. It was pretty powerful stuff. I like it rough. It can get rough, Steph. Oh, don't worry. Steph is like, oh no, bring it on. Bring it on. She's got her grippy socks ready. She can hold herself in place. Gory Tiger jumping on in. What's happening, Gory? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's what they're going to try to do with this one. Going back and forth from the 16 mil to the standard. Italy. Yeah, I figured it was his home country. Yeah. Yeah, video nasties. Man, we just called those rated R movies. Let's bring it on. I shout at the screen with Friday the 13th calling them Monty killers. I have a royal python, which my friend gave me, but she stays with him as Ziggs is scared of her. But she's so sweet and called Monty. Oh, yeah, I don't know why they did that. Part of me, I don't know if this is Mandela effect, but am I remembering this correctly? That I don't know if Savini even had anything to do with that, and he was upset that they did that. I don't know. Because you'd figure if you're the special effects guy, you're like, well, that's my job. Like, I could rig up a fake snake and wiggle it on a friggin' fishing line and you could cut it in half. Like, you know, from the special effects perspective, it's like, well, that's a lot easier than killing something, you know, or, you know, it's not worth killing something when we can just create this effect. Gotcha. See, and I didn't know if the animal stuff had anything to do with it, because I know laws were different, like stuff was different then. But yeah, I know they had to show how they did the impalement because it looked so friggin' real. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie since 2003. It's been 23 years. Me watching that movie, that experience can now go get drinks at a bar. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on over to the next story here, guys. Third 28 years later entry, not filming until 2027. Sorry, I'm just looking for the story here. I wanted to cover this, guys, because I've been vocal about how much I love 28 years later, The Bone Temple, and I was like very lukewarm about the first movie. I kind of wish Nia DaCosta would just finish out this trilogy, because I found her movie to be far more compelling, right? But here we go. We've got an article from Megan Navarro over there at Bloody Disgusting with a headline that reads, Danny Boyle hopes to film 28 years later trilogy capper next year. So you put out the first two movies within 6 months of one another, and now we're not even going to get to camera. Hopes to get to camera next year. That's kind of wild. Do you think that they would be shooting the movie like right now, you know, or 3 months ago, you know? So I know that there's some issues with, you know, for a little bit, they didn't know how it was going to go because 28 years later, The Bone Temple didn't do very well. Unfortunately, it totally bombed, and it's 5 times better than 28 years later. So I know there was a little bit of a balk from the studio as far as what they were going to do, but let's see if we can get some full context here. So the article says, while the first two installments in Danny Boyle and Alex Garland's 28 Years Later trilogy were filmed back to back, Sony has been noticeably quiet on the third installment, leaving fans in the lurch. While Sony did confirm that the trilogy's capper is moving forward, details have been scarce. The trilogy's young lead, Alfie Williams, stirred up speculation 2 weeks ago on Instagram, where he appeared to be gearing up for production. Thanks to a new chat with our pals at Joe Blow, we finally have an update on when to expect the third installment. Boyle revealed to Joe Blow that it's the availability of filming locations that is causing the quiet delay. Okay, well, that's reassuring. More importantly, the returning director provides a little insight on what we might expect in it. Quote, "We ran out of time because it's set in an area of Britain where you can only film at certain times of the year. We ran out of time this year. We literally ran out of time." Stop saying we ran out of time, Danny. So it'll be, hopefully, fingers crossed, next year, but there's the enthusiasm there, and Alex has done a wonderful script for it. Okay, so that's not really very much, but the screenplay is ready to go, and Boyle hopes to launch production in 2027, so it'll be a way off yet before we catch up with Cillian Murphy's Jim. I actually said Cillian's name the right way. because we even say Celtic over here. We don't say we say Celtic, but there was a team from Boston that's called the Celtics, and everyone calls them the Celtics. So it's and then cell phone. So sometimes a C is an S to me, but Cillian Murphy's Jim. So we don't need to catch up on the plot for the rest of the movie or anything. I'll just leave this quote up here. I mean, running out of time, like not having availability, I totally get that. I don't think there's really much here. Joe Blow, what do you guys think of Joe Blow? I think I unsubscribed from their YouTube page because they talk weird. But then even like this is the meatiest part from the interview, I guess, is just that like, hey, we ran out of time. We literally ran out of time. We ran out of time. And I love Alex's script. Yeah, I mean, I get like I would say the same thing if I was in his position. But it is so they're going to shoot in 2027. I guess the movie could be out in the winter of 2027. It could be out next winter. But at that point, you're waiting to finish off this trilogy, and you're waiting kind of a long time. If it doesn't come out in 2027, it's a bit of a gap. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this, where you stand on this new trilogy that they've launched, where you stand as far as the franchise goes. I really don't think this franchise is very strong. I can't believe it's gone as long as it has, honestly. Like, I think the first film is fine, and I think The Bone Temple is actually the best movie in the franchise. So yeah, I don't know. I covered this because I know people are really into it. It's technically like a zombie thing, so I'm a zombie subgenre fan as well. But I just wish they would knock this thing out and let Nia DaCosta do it. Just roll. Like, don't do it, Danny. Don't let your weird ass editing and stuff ruin the final act of the trilogy. Don't do it. Don't you do it. But anyways, I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comments down below. And as of now, I'm going to jump on over to the chat and see what they're all saying. Sony hasn't even said they're going to do it yet. I think they have announced that it's happening. They just haven't released any other details. Yeah, I occasionally will put on one of their videos if it seems interesting to me, but I swear, Jamie, I don't know if you have noticed this. I swear they purposely mispronounce certain words just to annoy people, so people like come back to hate watch and hate listen. And then there's one guy, this is a very particular thing, and I it's not even like they're such a huge channel. It's not even like I'm really talking shit. They're like way up in the stratosphere. When people don't put a vowel between a T and the letter N, I don't know what it is. It kind of drives me a little bit crazy. Especially when it's like in the name of a title of a movie, and I'm trying to think of a good example. But the one guy from Joe Blow will be like Martin. He's like in Martin. And it's like, no, the movie is called Martin. There's a vowel in between the T and the N. But when people don't do that, and the one guy particularly that does it, he's kind of got one of these voices. He's like, Martin. And I'm just, it just made me like, I got to the point where I was like, unsubscribe. I can't do it. And that's why I let all of you guys know, if I ever become too much or you realize I'm not your cup of tea, it's totally fair. I won't hate you for it. I've done the same thing myself. I saw 28 Days Later. I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. I went to 28 years with no expectations and enjoyed it. Weird but fun movie. Yeah, James, I have launched on so many different streams. I'll give you my quick version. To me, it's like a 2-act movie. It doesn't have 3 acts. I understand it's a part of a trilogy, but I still think that each singular story should have 3 acts to it. Aaron Taylor Johnson's character was so compelling to me in that movie, and then he was completely removed out of the back half. Didn't even see him in Bone Temple. So, and then there's all this weird editing in 28 Years Later. Those are just the things that didn't work for me. But man, the first half of the movie, I love the first half of the movie so very much. And you're absolutely right. There's lots of dong. Little less dong in the... You actually get more Ralph Fiennes dong in Bone Temple than you get of Samson dong. Danny has always had a choppy editing style, and you can notice in the first movie, I like his style and that he's going to finish it off. Nia's good, but it's only fitting for Danny to finish it. I suppose so. And it's not even the choppy editing. Like, why the fuck does 28 Years Later have footage of archers, stock footage of archers, and stock footage of people from like World War I like being edited in to this movie. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Dude, this is the, what, 28 years later is the third movie in the franchise, right? 28 years later? Yeah. So it's the third movie in the franchise. You don't have to like remind us that this is a war by showing us stock footage of wars. And seriously, like the Archer stuff, I swear it's from like a movie. It is so bizarre. I don't know. It just totally killed my boner for the movie. I thought it might just be his accent, but I do know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, there's a certain part of like urban accent that can kind of get to that area. But this guy does it with, when you do it with the title of a movie, it's like you're not saying, it's like you're mispronouncing the title of the, like, why not just say the title of the movie? Don't let your accent get in the way, right? Don't say Cillian Murphy, say Killian Murphy, you know? What culture channel pees me off? I always have to correct that. Yeah. Oh, what culture? And what's the one movie they mention every time? It's in my watch list. Don't Look Now with Donald Sutherland. Any list, they're like the most disturbing whatever's in horror from what culture? Don't Look Now. Oh, it's gonna be there. They fucking like have to. It's a requirement for them to add it. Oh, Gene, thank you so much. You're my cup of tea too, Gene. That's too sweet. I just know that I can be brash and whatever. Like, I get it, you know. I'm not for everyone. Would y'all recommend Ralph Fiennes' Dong? Well, it didn't ruin the movie for me. I was surprised to see it a couple times. But no, Bone Temple, Tia, no joke, Bone Temple's really good. It's really good. I highly recommend watching it. That's ironic. Beauty at its best. I haven't seen it. Yeah, there's Dong in Bone Temple. But I don't think there's any Samson Dong. I think he's covered up. Maybe you see it in the distance. No, he's covered up for most of the movie. But there are a couple times where Ralph Fiennes just like drops it all and it's just right there. It's just right there. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh no, now the filmmaker that used to be young and creative is now like old and just doing weird shit to try to seem like he's like hip with the new kids, you know? I don't know, man. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Slasher Theory jumping on in to say, hey, can't wait for the new Evil Dead movie, and I've not seen any of the 28 series, but I plan to eventually. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's, you know, the first movie was really cool for what it was, and the fact that it was all shot on this like camera that, you know, pretty much anyone could have at that point. You know, I think it was like an old DV camera. Outside of that, like 28 days later is the Day of the Dead with running zombies, pretty much. You know, it's just Romero derivative and doesn't really do anything that Romero didn't do. So that's kind of rough for me. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next story here. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, you fuckers. Oh my God. There we go. There we go. Okay, Obsession. Sorry, I'm mad. I'm getting mad at StreamYard here. Obsession passes $100 million as Backroom begins a massive opening weekend from John Squires. This is going to be really quick, guys. I just thought we could celebrate here. Look at this shot. Oh, dude. I tell you what, Michael Johnston, who plays Bear in Obsession, he reminded me so much of Bruce Campbell. When I was watching the movie, I was like, oh my God, he looks like Ash. You know, he looks like Bruce from that time. But what's even crazier is just watching him during interviews. I'm like, that's the same actor. He looks so different in real life. There's something about the way he like holds his face when he plays Bear. It's these really nuanced facial acting things that people do where he looks like a totally different person in real life. It's wild. And maybe I'm just shining a light on it because rightly so, everyone is talking about Indy Navarrette's performance, which is incredible. But I also think like it's like a comedy duo. Like there's the wacky and crazy one, and then there's the person that kind of plays like the straight man or whatever. And I don't want to forget about Michael Johnston's performance because really it's about those two characters together that is what makes the performances really shine for both actors, you know? So anyways, just my thoughts there. But here we go. A24 and from A24 and first-time director Kane Parsons' liminal horror movie Backrooms is off to a hell of a start at the box office, scaring up $10 million on Thursday night alone. That's the same amount made by Five Nights at Freddy's in its own Thursday night opening back in 2023. I was there. It was one of the first screenings I went to. And if Backrooms continues to match that film's performance, we could be looking at an opening weekend total that approaches the $80 million mark. But let's hold that thought for now, because while Backrooms embarks on its debut weekend this weekend, weekend, Curry Barker's Obsession is headed into its third weekend at the box office, and the film has only been growing stronger with each passing week. Guys, this is absolutely bonkers. After a debut weekend of $17 million, Obsession made a whopping $23 million in its second weekend, a practically unheard of week-to-week growth. We can now report that Obsession has passed the $100 million mark as the film heads into its third weekend, only the second horror movie this year behind Scream 7 to smash through that milestone. It's all but guaranteed at this point that Backrooms will very quickly hit the $100 million mark as well, which signals that the future of horror truly is upon us. So I don't need to dive into all the everything else here. There's a lot going on in this article, but there's a cute little shot there of Indy just looking like whatever, no big deal. Don't pay attention to me. Why is everyone looking at me? But this is just great news for, it's great news for original stories. It's a be careful what you wish for story. We've only got so many framings for our stories, but it is original. And it's great news for young filmmakers and people that are making films or, starting in YouTube. It's just something to be celebrated. And hopefully it's something that, I don't know if any big studios really going to learn that much from this, but man, the small studios are out there taking chances and, giving filmmakers like, hey, we're going to give you total control. We're going to give you a relatively small budget. And we're going to see what you can do. And, in the case of Obsession, Curry Barker wrote, directed, and edited the film. So that's a hell of a lot of control. It's one of the reasons why the movie came out so well. And yeah, this is great for horror. So nothing that we really need to talk about per se, but something that I just wanted to, shine a light on here, because a movie that cost under $1 million to make, that has a marketing campaign that seems to be very grassroots in the social media front and everything like that, with Obsession passing $100 million, that is friggin' crazy. I heard some story. I don't even know if I was able to verify it, but I heard something, and I don't know who said it, but some studio approached Curry Barker and was basically like, we just want you to do a movie. We'll give you $10 million. Just make a movie for us. Like, it's gotten to that point where now it's like, we don't even care if you have an idea right now. Just whatever idea you've got, like, let's make a movie. Because they're seeing that there's some raw talent, and they're seeing that there's something that's, just kind of percolating right now, and just like they're, bubbling at the perfect time. So awesome news for these young creators and filmmakers, and really awesome news for us, the fans. And then just another really quick one, guys. This is just closing the news stuff out here. Creepy Duck Design pays tribute to Evil Dead 2 with a killer unofficial poster for Evil Dead Burn. So yeah, it's not really Evil Dead Burn news per se, but you guys know I'm a big Evil Dead fan, as you can tell by my poster back there. And the Creepy Duck Design stuff is really cool. All of the work that he or she does, I don't even know. I don't even care. All of the work that he or she does is really, really good. So let's take a look at the full thing here. I'm just going to bring it up, and I'm going to, there we go. Can you guys see that? Is there a way? Yeah, it's too bad that I can't really, I'll give you guys the scan and pan version. It's going to be one hell of a night. Love that font there. This is the scan and pan version, and then I'll give you guys the static version, and I'll read from the article, and we'll have a chat here. But yeah, very much Evil Dead 2. Obviously, not even just the skull there looking at us, but also the font. The Evil Dead Burn font is very Evil Dead 2. And it's funny. It's like, it almost looks like right here, I know those are supposed to be chimneys up here. It looks like two people standing next to each other on the left side, and then one person standing on the right side. It's interesting how that looks. So I don't think that has any special or secret meaning or anything like that, but let me jump back on over. I'll read from the article, let you guys look at the picture, of course. And here we go. It says, remember the classic original poster for Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2? The one with the skull? It's one of the most iconic pieces of horror movie artwork to come out of the 1980s, adorning the bedroom walls of countless horror fans back then and still today. Creepy Duck Design pays tribute to that classic art with his own take on an alternate poster for brand new movie Evil Dead Burn, which you can check out below. Now, this is not an official poster for the movie, mind you, but the folks over at Bloody Disgusting thought we'd get a kick out of it. So, of course, follow Creepy Duck Design on Twitter and Instagram if you want to see all the posters that he does. They're really, really cool. He's always kind of thinking about bringing in some sort of, hinting at some sort of relation that the film has either to another film in its own franchise, or if it's an original film, finding a way to pull in inspiration from something that's sort of reminiscent. Just very, very creative, the work from Creepy Duck Design. So there you go, guys. Little Evil Dead Burn. Is it news? Not really, but is it cool? Very much so. I love the Creepy Duck stuff. I would love to have, come on. Who wouldn't want to have this printed out on a VHS with this movie when it comes out? To have this kind of artwork on a VHS, or even just a poster. I mean, it looks really, really damn good. So anyways, that's just closing out the news portion of everything here today. And yeah, a very, very small story, but I'm just such a big Evil Dead fan that I can't help to not cover it. I can't help to not cover it so much that I didn't even do that. And oh my God, I missed out on one of the biggest stories, guys. We need to talk about Damien Leone. How did I miss this? We are not done with the news. Holy shit. This is arguably the biggest news story. And you guys almost let me get away with it. I see you in the chat, everyone. I'm going to jump in and say what's up, but I do want to talk about this article really quick first. So, guys, this is pretty big news here. So this is pretty big news because, Damien Leone, we all know him from Terrifier, right? Just homegrown, created his own franchise pretty much out of nothing, out of thin air. And, we're closing out the Terrifier franchise, at least for the time being. Who knows if we're going to return to that franchise or return to those characters at some point. But Terrifier 4 will be releasing next, I'm guessing fall, winter, since it's going to take place on New Year's Eve. I would imagine they'll probably release it sometime around Thanksgiving, something like that. So everyone's been curious, what's Damien Leone going to do after this? People are throwing out, have him do A Nightmare on Elm Street, have him do Friday the 13th, all that kind of stuff. So I know we all have our thoughts and feelings about those kinds of ventures that Leone could do. But I always say with people like this that are creative, just let them keep on being creative. Don't put them in the box of somebody else's creation necessarily, unless they want to be there. But here we go. We got an article from John Squires talking about what Damien Leone has on tap for after Terrifier 4. The article says, or the headline reads, Tortures of the Damned. Damien Leone directing original horror movie for Lionsgate and Ghost House, which is really cool because Ghost House is Sam Raimi's production studio. So I love seeing that. The article says, in the wake of 3 Terrifier movies that dominated the box office and established him as one of the genre's hottest filmmakers, Damien Leone is next directing an original horror feature. The Hollywood Reporter lets us know this afternoon that Damien Leone will write, direct, and produce Tortures of the Damned for Lionsgate, with the upcoming original horror feature being produced by Sam Raimi's company, Ghost House Pictures. The outlet notes that Leone will turn his attention to Tortures of the Damned after Terrifier 4, which is being positioned as the final installment in the Art the Clown saga. Hollywood Reporter details, quote, plot details are unknown, but sources say it is different in tone from Terrifier and will sport a heftier budget than the low-budget Terrifier franchise, unquote. So we've got our list of producers here in addition to Sam Raimi. And let's see here. Aaron Westerman, the president of the Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, said, quote, we're incredibly proud and excited to be partnering with Damien Leone on his first original film after the beloved Terrifier series. I joined the huge contingency of horror fans and Damien fans inside Lionsgate who have been following his work and cheering him on. Damien is a true genre auteur with a singular vision, and we're thrilled to help bring this bold new project to the screen while continuing to build on the incredible connection he has with fans around the world. okay, Robert Barsamian, take note. This is how you talk about what you're doing with your, creative properties. They didn't do the corporate speak. They're like, we want to help him bring this new project and continue to build on that incredible connection that he has with fans. Like, that's normal speak. That's not corporate speak. That's what we like to see. You know what, guys? As I was reading that quote, I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder if Lionsgate was one of the studios that reached out about Terrifier 3. Because I don't know if you guys remember this, but studios reached out and they were basically like, well, we want to help you make Terrifier 3 and we want to give you money to make it bigger, but like, we can't be an unrated movie, dude. Like, basically we need to find out a way to make this an R-rated movie. And Leone was like, well, then I'm just going to do it myself. So this makes me think, because she said, who have been, I joined the huge contingency of horror fans and Damien fans inside Lionsgate who have been following his work and cheering him on. So that makes me think that they were like, hey, can we work on Terrifier? And with that going away, maybe Lionsgate was like, hey, we totally get it. It's your baby. Do what you got to do with Terrifier. But we want to work with you. So when you're ready to do something after Terrifier, if you think we can work together and we could do something that like can have a wide release, maybe an R rating and more accessibility, I'm just guessing that that's part of the conversation. But it seems to me that Lionsgate has been, they've been watching him, and maybe this deal has kind of been in the background being worked on. So this is really exciting stuff. Tortures of the Damned will notably be Damien Leone's first movie made with a studio. All 3 Terrifier films were independently made. We just covered that. Yep. And Terrifier 4 is currently in pre-production, so they've not yet gone to camera. They'll probably be shooting that this fall, winter to capture that New Year's Eve vibe, right? It would be actually really cool if they shot some stuff on actual New Year's Eve, but they probably won't. But let's take a look at that beautiful Damien Leone in his black t-shirt and his hoodie. Just he's just got a New Jersey, or maybe he's a Philly kind of guy. I don't know where he's from exactly, but I'm picking up on an East Coast vibe there. But I do want to take a look at the poster here. Just what we've got so far for Tortures of the Damned. Because this is a really cool, like, I love this simple kind of concept. It reminds me of the Japanese movie House, that poster, because you can see the wrinkles. Like, I don't know if this is supposed to be, like, to me, it looks like a piece of paper that was folded and then cut out. This image was cut out and then the paper was flattened. And I'm like, are those supposed to be like demon wings? Kind of like the Pazuzu statue from Exorcist, like the tips of the wings there. And I'm like, well, wait, what if this is like upside down? It's supposed to be teeth. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm seeing like demon wings, but obviously we don't see like a demonic head or anything like that. But yeah, very simple little poster here, but actually I really dig like the look of this. And I like the mystery. I'm a mystery guy, so I'm just sort of like, ooh, what's Tortures of the Damned going to be? Is this going to be like what is it going to be, like an old Roger Corman, like Boris Karloff movie, or like is it going to be an anthology? Like, what is Tortures of the Damned going to be like? I'm very curious. I'm very excited. Even though Terrifier is something that is not necessarily my cup of tea, doesn't really fit with my sensibilities. I enjoy it for what it is, but it's nothing I really find myself gravitating towards. I would just love to see Leone do something a little bit different. I don't feel like he really needs to back off an incredible amount on the gore, but I always like seeing artists just try new things and get out of their own comfort zone and stretch themselves as to what they can do. You can always go back to the hyper gore and the splatter kind of splatoation, splatter film kind of stuff. You can always go back to that, but I'm curious to see if he can actually bring some sort of dread and fear in a way that's not about the camera being zoomed in on a long scene of fantastical gore. So I don't know. Are you guys looking forward to what Damien Leone's cooking up here post Terrifier? Do you like the idea of him teaming up with Lionsgate and Ghost House? I think it's a good team for him to be to have Sam Raimi there involved in some capacity. I think is a good sign. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more. I don't know. I'm not more excited for this than Terrifier 4, just because I feel like Terrifier 4 is going to be really epic. At least I hope it will be. If it's not really epic, then it's going to be a pretty colossal disappointment for me, But I am super pumped to see what he's got, coming up next. So let me know in the comments. Jump on down there below. Let me know your thoughts. If you're watching after the fact, if you're watching live, I'm going to jump on over with you guys now, and let's dive into the Damien Leone madness. Everything you got. The love, the hate, the confusion, the whatever, the why aren't we getting Terrifier 4 this year, even though I, had it on my calendar. We can talk about all that. So let's jump on in. Okay, guys, let's see what we got over here. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. There we go. And now it's just me and you guys, just me and a babe. Just me and a babe. Let's see what you guys got here. Pulp Cinema Pictures TV, welcome on in. Says, hey, Davey, huge fan of the channel. I just dropped a raw found footage giallo slasher short called He Sent Me to the Dark, and I'd love to know what you think of the vibe. Here's the tape. It probably won't let you send a link because you're not a moderator. Excuse me, that burp just forced its way out. You ever have one of those where it's like, no, I'm coming out? Pulp Cinema, my links are in the description below. So if you want to find me on socials, and you want to send me a link on socials, you can do it there. Or you can join the Discord. We have a self-promotion channel on my Discord server. The Discord's totally free, all that kind of good stuff. And you can go to the self-promo channel on my Discord. You can drop the link there as well. So yeah, YouTube, just because you're not a moderator, YouTube won't let you share a link, but I'm interested in checking out. I mean, I do love giallos. So yeah, send a link on over. Apparently it wasn't Savini. They brought in an animal wrangler. Oh my gosh. That's pretty sad. Yeah, that's a bummer. It really, to me, it doesn't taint the legacy of the whole film, but it's definitely a bad mark on the film that they did that. Yeah. Let's see what we got. About time we get closure for Jim's story. For sure there's going to be spinoffs too. Yeah. I want to know what Jim was doing between days and years. Okay. Maybe you think? They cast his son? Did they make his son an actor and they make him play a younger version of him? I saw all video nasties that my brother wanted to see, bar a few he told me about, like I Spit on Your Grave, Last House, and stuff until I was older. Haven't bothered with I Spit, but it was fun times. Yeah. I don't think I have a copy of I Spit on Your Grave, and I don't think I've ever watched it. I feel a sneeze coming on. Woo! That was exciting. Always feels good. It sends tingles throughout my entire body. Yeah, I Spit on Your Grave seems like it's a little too tough for me, I think. Okay, those are a little bit older. Too early for a stream? I know. I'm feeling it already, feeling it. YouTubers are laughing it up all the way to the bank. Pretty sure Talk to Me and Bring Her Back by the Filippo brothers made bank too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the Filippo brothers are doing very well. What's up, Kyle? Welcome on in, man. Hope you're doing well. One of our great channel members right there. I don't watch trailers. Heard good things about Obsession. What's the non-spoiler elevator pitch? Be careful what you wish for as far as romantic infatuation goes. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of like Monkey's Paw, Bedazzled, like you make the wish, and of course the wish doesn't work out the way you want it to, kind of thing. Yeah. And there's a teaser. If you watch the very first Obsession teaser trailer, it shows maybe 30 seconds from one singular scene of the movie, and all it really lets you know is like, hey, the wish has kind of gone awry, and the guy's like on trying to call like tech support, basically. And it's a really good teaser trailer. It doesn't spoil it. Like, it gives you enough of the vibe and everything. I didn't watch any of the trailers after that. I just avoided them. Nanette Blood Rose Horror Fairy, one of our great channel members, jumping on in. Hope you're doing well, Nettie. Welcome, welcome. Kyle says Backrooms was awesome. I have heard everything then. I've heard awesome. I've heard terrible. I heard 9 out of 10. I heard it was like, kind of okay. I'm looking forward to checking it out. My son's going to do a double feature with Obsession and Backrooms tonight. I bet a lot of people are going to do that. Obsession grew in the 3rd week. It's already been making more money than the 2nd week and the 1st week. It's crazy how it's growing. So if the kids, the late teens, early 20-somethings are going to see these movies more than once, or going to double feature them, the next week. Yeah, this is going to be some pretty good eats for the horror community. Let's see what else we got here. Evil Dead Wrath has just finished filming. Curious why we have to wait an extra year. So T, here's what I think it is. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee here and we'll talk about it. By the way, guys, 30 people in here. You all are amazing. Make sure you hit that like button. It's crazy. We've gained more people since I started talking about Damien Leone. I wonder if that's related at all. So T, here's what I think is going on. I think they feel like they've got something really good with Burn. So I think the studio, and this is all just like my own, you know, the gears turning in my own head and thinking like, why would they push it back? I think they want to let Burn breathe. I think they're so confident in it that they're like, you know what? This movie's going to do well. We're going to be able to do a physical media release at like around Christmas time. People are going to get pumped for Evil Dead Burn again at Christmas. And then we don't want to put out another movie in April and then have it like eat into the revenue and the buzz that we could still be living off of from Evil Dead Burn. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to do it too quick and then you haven't put enough space for people to like really, you know, the absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing. I think it's just the studio. Yeah, they're like, hey, this movie is like really damn solid. We don't have to try to make people forget about it by putting out another movie 8 months later. Like, oh yeah, you know, you didn't really like that one, but this one's good. You know what I mean? Like they didn't want to look desperate. And I think they probably just said, we can take our time with this one. You know, we can enjoy all the money that Evil Dead Burn can make, of course. And then we can, you know, come April next year, they'll be able to start creating the buzz for Wrath to come out in a year from then, right? In 2028. So that's what I would imagine they're doing. Maybe, even though you said they just finished filming, maybe they know they've got to go back to camera. Maybe they found a way to get Bruce involved. I don't know. Maybe they just know that they're going to need to do some more filming and all that kind of stuff. But I really think it's just because they believe so much in Evil Dead Burn. And I think that I don't know. I've got this feeling, T. I have the feeling that Evil Dead Burn is really going to make Evil Dead like mainstream. Like not in a way that Scream is mainstream because, you know, Scream has had it the whole time. But I think Evil Dead Burn is going to, you know, the franchise was so like just for horror fans for so long and it's slowly been getting bigger and bigger. But with how good Evil Dead Burn looks and the fact that it's coming out July 10th, I think it's, you know, and after all these we've had a really nice ramp up. Not every horror movie's been great in 2026, but we've got some really good ones, right? So there are people that are like believing in horror, you know, the Obsession and Backrooms are bringing all these younger kids to the theater. And then they're going to be like, well, what's the next thing? Oh, Evil Dead Burn in a month. Cool. I'm going to go check that out with all my friends that loved Obsession and Backrooms. We're going to go watch Evil Dead Burn. In fact, we're going to catch up on these other Evil Dead movies. Like what have we missed? You know? So I think Evil Dead Burn is going to put the franchise, you know, into the mainstream conversation more than it's ever been before. So I think they're just going to, you know, kind of bide their time. They're in no rush to get Wrath out there. Can we talk about the DIY made binder Necronomicon? Anyone else caught that in the trailer? Yes, Kyle. I have talked about that numerous times on all my coverage for Evil Dead Burn. It's one of the first things I noticed when I did the trailer reaction. I think that's Professor Noby's own like diary. Like, you know, like Indiana Jones's father in The Last Crusade has his Holy Grail diary that's like, it's like things that he's collected that are stuck in there, notes that he's made, you know, take a piece of paper, like rub it on something to like get the image and everything and put it in the diary. Like that's this Necronomicon that we see in Evil Dead Burn. I don't think it's a Necronomicon. I think it's still just the 3 volumes of the Necronomicon. I think this book, I think we're going to find out that we're in the Noby house. This is Professor Noby's book. This is probably some extended family of his. Who knows if Ruby's going to be in the movie or mentioned? We don't even know when the movie takes place. I think the movie is going to be somewhere in between Evil Dead 2 and the year 2000. So I think we're thinking, to me, I'm like late 80s or sometime in the 90s is when I think Evil Dead Burn is going to take place. That's just like the feeling that I'm getting. And I think that, we see stuff from the Necronomicon from Evil Dead 2013. Those pages are in there if you go frame by frame. Then there's also stuff from the original book. And then there's also like scraps, like newspaper clipping, like there's just all this sort of stuff of like anything that could help you in a situation. So I think this is going to be like the scout's guide to defeating the Evil Dead, essentially. Like that's what I'm just calling the book that. They're not going to call it that in the movie, but that's what I imagine this binder Necronomicon is. It's really just Cliff's Notes. It's a cheat sheet created by Professor Nobi in a leather-bound diary. That's what I'm thinking from what we've seen so far. Yeah, Tortures of the Damned. What a cool title, huh? Is the caps lock key stuck like Danny Zuko? He's yelling because he's so excited. Lionsgate and Ghost House, man. Yes. Yeah. Is Art the Clown your cousin? That's my hero. That's so funny. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, gargoyle wings. Yep. Definitely some sort of demonic kind of thing. Yeah. I think Ash should kill off Art. That'd be funny. They just bring Ash in for no reason. Not a fan of the Terrifier franchise. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I don't even know that I'm not a fan. I can find things to appreciate about it, but man, I am a story guy. I am a performance guy. Like, when I go and watch a movie, I want a good story and I want good performances. That doesn't really happen in Terrifier, other than Lauren Lavera. That's like she's like the only really good. Well, David Howard Thornton is great as Art, but it's a silent performance. Not to take anything away from it, but yeah, obviously he's great. Amanda Scafaldi, who plays Victoria, like she's pretty solid. She's good. Lauren Lavera is like the shining star for me as far as like, oh, thank God, somebody that can actually act in these movies. I think that's my biggest gripe. He could, all the gore, he could do all that, but dude, when you're making movies, slasher movies, splatter movies that are over 2 hours long and the story isn't good and the acting isn't good, fuck. It's tough for me to like say it with my chest that I like this thing, And I'm one of the weirdos where I think Terrifier 3 is the best one. It's my favorite. I like the Christmas vibe and it just seems fun loving in a way, relatively speaking. I know I say that a lot. I'm like, compared to the other Terrifier property or, products, I think that Terrifier 3 is pretty fun loving. Never met him personally, only found out when he, oh shoot, what happened? Did somebody pass away? Oh, Mr. Rogers. Is that who you're talking about? Mr. Rogers, is that who you're talking about, guys? For real related to Mr. Rogers, that is wild. He was a good personal friend with George Romero. They both grew up in that Pittsburgh area, and yeah, they were buds. Have a great one, Albie. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, man. Let's see. Albie won't be able to join on Monday, but happy birthday to Jamie. I love seeing it. Yeah, all the love in the world for our Jamie Hart. Rob Dean says Damien Leone could be the second coming of Rob Zombie. Well, hopefully he does better than Rob. I mean, like, I think Rob has his strong points for sure. I think Damien's probably starting off on a better foot because not only did he come in from the filmmaker aspect, but in the original Terrifier, he like was the main effects guy. So he's got like a level of artistry that maybe like writing isn't his strongest suit, but he's got multiple suits that he's very capable. He can always get better at writing. You know what I mean? So is that what you mean of second coming of Rob Zombie? Is that what you're saying, that the writing's not very good? The acting's like, the acting in Rob Zombie's movies are usually like pretty good. There's always a couple performers that seem like they don't really fit. But yeah, I mean, I would love for Rob to come back and do another, some sort of gross kind of, slasher movie. Fuck, I wouldn't even mind if he did another like one-off offshoot Halloween movie that had nothing to do with anything. Like, I would be down because I think RZH2 is awesome. I think Leone could have a lot of fun with something silly. I think that would be And who knows, maybe Tortures of the Damned will be like a dark comedy. I mean, if Ghost House is involved, it could be totally serious, but there could be some humor. I mean, Terrifier has humor in it. It's just very like they're going for a very real kind of look with the effects, and it's just very grim and punishing. It's just not a very nice franchise. This will basically be Evil Dead's cousin. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if it has that tone, right? And we don't know. Tortures of the Damned, guys, it's like when I hear the title Tortures of the Damned, you know what I literally think of? The reason why I said Roger Corman is I think of those movies, I think of those movies where there's like an underground basement cavern and there's like caskets down there. There's some secret, or somebody rolls into town and stumbles upon this family that has these twisted secrets, and they're into these like crazy rituals and like cult kind of behavior. That's what I think of when I think of Tortures of the Damned. I'm like, oh, we're gonna see people in like white gowns, like tied up to slabs of rock while people chant with flames all around them to some sort of deity. And like, that's the kind of vibe I get. But who knows? Tortures of the Damned could mean something totally different in someone else's mind when they picture that title. So that I just get some sort of grindhousey 70s religious cult horror movie kind of vibe. So I think it could be really fun. Yeah. It is pretty mean-spirited. Have you seen Terrifier 3, Jamie? Not to say that it's not, but it is as lighthearted as you're going to get for Terrifier. Yeah. I think, and you're talking about the writing, right, Rob? I think that's what you're alluding to. Yeah, take my money. Hey, I tell you what, like I said, I'm excited enough for Terrifier 4, but I'm way more curious of, Tortures of the Damned, because we have no frame of reference. With Terrifier 4, I can sort of imagine what the movie is going to be like, Tortures of the Damned, I'm like, oh shit, something new? That's pretty cool, Pretty cool. Could be very different. I need to see what the movie looks like in a trailer, and when the trailer, and when is the trailer? I don't mean the actual trailer, I mean the teaser. I can actually say that I will like the movie or not. Yeah, we all have our different like ways that we approach trailers and everything. Nanette, I tried a couple years ago. I was like, I'm not going to watch trailers anymore. And it just got to the point where it was like, I'm missing out on stuff I could be talking about and covering on the channel. So I just sort of like let it all go. And admittedly, like I've become a different audience member and a different kind of movie fan even since then. Having the channel has totally transformed the way that I am as an audience member. And I always thought I was I thought I was a pretty good audience member before. I try to critically think about things. I also try to let go and just have fun with movies when it seems like that's all they're trying to do. So, being able to enjoy movies that are just a good time, and then being able to enjoy them on a deeper level if there's something deeper there. Like I always felt like I had that, but I shit you not, since starting the channel, and especially like I've watched like 150 movies this year that I've never seen, on top of all the other movies that I've already seen that I've rewatched. And I just a year ago coming out of a movie, I would have to sit there and be like, what did I really think about it before I reviewed? And now it's just sort of like part of the process as I'm watching the movie. I'm like already consciously thinking about certain things, but it's not preventing me from being able to enjoy or take in the movie. It's really interesting. There's like some sort of, transcendence, I think is a bit too much of a hoity-toity kind of word, but there is some sort of like, oh wow, I've graduated to some level that's above where I was before. I'm not out here saying like, now I know perfectly how to grade and critique movies, but I do think I'm better than I was, a year or two ago. And I'm bringing that up with your trailer talk because what I found is that trailers, I might stop after the first trailer and then I hear about a second one coming out and I don't see it. Like I haven't seen the international trailer for Evil Dead Burn because I heard it talks about and shows a lot of like the backstory plot, and I don't want to know any of that stuff with Evil Dead Burn. I can still talk about Evil Dead Burn and cover it on the channel without having to do every little corner of it, but I have softened my view on trailers. However, I always go into my movies late because I don't want to sit in a theater and watch the same trailers I've already seen 5 times and can just fucking watch on my phone or my computer. So thank goodness AMC is like, hey bro, movies start 25 to 30 minutes after showtime, and that's when I show up. no earlier than 20 minutes after showtime. So there you go. It is, yeah. It is, yeah. It's your classic, you know, Three Stooges meets a horror film. And, you know, and then Peter Jackson did the same kind of thing with Dead Alive, Brain Dead, just like 4 years later or whatever it was, you know. Opinions may vary, yes. Never said comedy, even though it is. I think it is. I think it, yeah, I would say, well, when you say splat stick, because that's a made up term, right, that Sam Raimi created. So I would just say, yeah, it's horror comedy. Yeah. Comedy horror, however you want to say it. But I would say horror comedy because the franchise is a horror franchise. I see stars sometimes when I sneeze too. Yeah. Yeah. It is a really nice mix in Evil Dead 2. It's not my favorite film in the franchise, but when I first got into the franchise, it was just so accessible to somebody that was brand new to this kind of horror. I grew up with slasher films and all that kind of stuff when I was a kid. I've loved horror since I was like 5 or 6 years old. But when I saw Evil Dead 2 I was like 16 or 17 when I saw it for the first time, the franchise was just sort of like, I had never seen anything quite like it. And I had seen Dead Alive, but even after seeing Dead Alive and going back to the original Evil Dead and finding out it was, you know, a decade before, I was just like, man, this is kind of blowing me away. Well, I don't think it's about that, Ryan. I think like we just all have different ways of, you know, when we're talking about the tone of a movie, that's a really difficult, like, I don't think anyone can really be, sure, you can be wrong talking about the tone of a movie. If you say that Evil Dead 2 is a romantic comedy, you know, I think you're wrong about the tone, but there's comedic elements, there's horror elements in Evil Dead 2. So I think since we can agree that those elements are in that movie, I don't think there's, you know, I think it's just all about how we perceive that tone and which tone is more dominant to us. Because I even find that I will laugh at straight up horror movies. Like Send Help had me cracking up during some moments that were like probably supposed to be taken a bit more seriously, but I'm just cracking up. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just my reaction to just like seeing something so like wildly fantastical on screen. But I don't know. I think with Evil Dead 2, it's horror, it's comedy, it's both of those things. And sometimes it's both of those things at the same time. But also in Evil Dead 2, the two are separated sometimes as well. So, and I'm just jumping into the conversation just because I don't want anything to get, you know, I don't want anyone to take anything personally or get too personal in the chat with anyone else. We're all friends here, and it's really just talking about movies. It's so inconsequential. So, you know, so nothing to get too ruffled about. I remember when I was like 21 years old and I had just started going to the bars, I was dating this woman that I went to college with. And man, this guy, we started talking about Evil Dead at the bar. And this guy was so upset with me that I called the original Evil Dead movie a horror movie because he was like, it's a comedy. It was always meant to be a comedy. Sam Raimi, like this guy was like, you know how people get sometimes when they've been drinking. And I was just like, bro, like, I'm not looking to get into a fight about this. I love these movies so much. And I'm not going to like, you're not going to convince me that you're right here. So yeah, it can get pretty wild. It can get pretty wild. It is my favorite franchise as well, Asha. Yeah, I love Evil Dead. So originally we were going to do a watch party. Maybe if I can get either Joe or Carrie to show the movie on Discord, Steph, we can show the movie on Discord. And I'm going to see if there's anything Foz can do, because I still want to do a watch party for SLC Punk. That's what I wanted Movie Punks to be tomorrow. But it's just not going to work out that way. And it doesn't look like it's going to work out that way. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gene. I think you rock too. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see here. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon because we are right about that 2-hour mark. And I need to get ready and head out to go meet my guy, Tom Grassi. Yeah. Oh, my God. The Three Stooges influence is so amazing. And I never really got into the Three Stooges necessarily. Like, I haven't seen very much. But I love the way that Raimi does it. The way that he mixes the two. So great. Yeah. Let's see here. The evil's messing with Ash so much that he loses his mind, comes off as humorous. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe the man has been studying the outbreaks all along because he is of the pages talks about the 2013 cabin fire. Oh, gotcha. Well, and we don't know, like Professor Nobi, we just assume he's dead, right? We just assume that Henrietta killed him. But do we ever get proof of that? I don't know. Did he get away? Evil Dead Burn is probably going to explain some of the, not like gaps, because it's not that big of a deal. Like, oh, there's a huge plot hole that we don't know what happened to Professor Nobi. Like, you know, Professor Nobi is really just there as like he's the guy that's like, hey, I did all this studying just so these evil things can fall into your laps, unsuspecting 20-somethings. You know, that's like his role. That's the only reason why he's really there in the franchise so far. But I think we're going to get some expansion. And I do think, Kyle, if you watch my other Evil Dead Burn stuff, you'll hear me say this. I think Evil Dead Burn is going to connect to every single film in the franchise. I think it's going to bring it all together. And I think Wrath is going to be something really big. Like, I think Wrath is going to be like this Avengers Endgame kind of for Evil Dead. And then from there, it's going to open it back up again, you know? I think it's a man-made book. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's Professor Nobi. It's got to be, right? It's got to be him. Scafidi. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. Yeah, I just like that. The Christmas lights and that whole vibe. Yeah. Yeah, dude, Terrifier 2, I know a lot of people love it. 2 hours and 18 minutes is a fucking brutal runtime for a Terrifier movie. You know? Yeah, you know, they've been very open about it all. Guys, The Evil Dead Companion's an awesome book. If you've never read it, it's a very good resource. They talk about it in the commentaries and all that stuff too. Yeah, and we just, you know, again, I just want to reiterate, you know, we're just talking about movies here. So, you know, we can just keep the temp in a cool spot, and we're all buds. Okay. Wasn't a fan of Terrifier at first. I don't like gore just to have gore. Once he became demonic force, I was okay with the franchise. Yeah, when they open up the lore, especially in Terrifier 3, they really open up the lore, which makes me think Terrifier 4 is going to be a battle between heaven and hell, like angels and demons actually fighting each other, which I think is epic as fuck and really cool. Especially epic to pull out of a franchise like Terrifier. Like, oh, you just thought it was this mime clown going around with a literal garbage bag of like rusty tools to torture people and kill them. No. Now it's going to be like Braveheart in Terrifier 4. That's where I want it to go. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Makes me think of Dante's Inferno. There you go. Tortures of the Damned. A little bit of that cult kind of vibe. Satanic cult, you know? I'm curious to know what the heck that was. I was hesitant to watch it on my phone because it did look very disturbing. It did look very disturbing, but I didn't get a good look at it. I was actually out last night when I saw that, Kyle. Thank you for hanging out. Lucille Splatstick, though. Splatstick, right? That's a Sam Raimi thing. I always thought it was because they just sort of, you know, made their own version of it. Ruby killed him in season 2. Professor Nobi. Okay. Man, it's been so long since I've watched that show. I watched those episodes when they came out, but now I'm realizing that was like 10 years ago that the first season came out, I think. Well, I'm old too. I just never, it was always on late at night, and I don't know. I never really got it. Like the Marx Brothers, I think I understand them a little bit more. Their sense of humor. Yeah. I think I think you're going to lose your shit. I think it's going to make, I think they're going to fill in some of these gaps. I mean, if this really is the Nobi house and the Nobi family, like that right then and there, that is going to tie this to the first 2 films in a huge way, you know? Okay, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up there. Holy cow, we have 30 people in here as I'm saying my goodbyes. No, I would never want to take credit away from Lucille Ball. She was a true trailblazer, right? You know, just an amazing performer. But yeah, no, slapsticks. I didn't even know that she came up with slapstick. That's really cool. I had no idea that was. I always just figured that was like a phrase that no one really knew where it came from, you know, that it was just like, oh, slapstick comedy, you know. No worries. Thank you for hanging out, James. Really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I just want to shine a light here on Rick B. Jamon for dropping a $5 super chat, and James, the boys, dropping a tenner for the new guy, James, dropping in with the great question on what my first cassette purchase was. Thank you so very much, guys, for your super chats. Really do appreciate you. Thank you to all the channel members, Patreon members, our Death Squad mods, of course. I think we had Eli and Jamie in here tonight. Happy birthday to Eli Cortez. Holy cow, I'm gonna have to do a whole post about that because Eli is just the man. And then I get to do another one on Monday for Jamie. How about it? Yep, that's gonna wrap it up for me, guys. Just over 2 hours here. You all have been amazing. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for hanging out, getting into the horror news nitty gritty with me and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be out and about for the rest of the day. If I get a cool picture of Tom Grossi and myself, then I will be posting that. So keep on the lookout. Guys, if you want to follow me on socials or you want to just stay more connected with the community, you know, all those links are down below in the description. And there's a Discord link in there. Totally free, 18 and up, just so we can, you know, freely talk about whatever. There's a few questions you got to answer because we had some riffraff and I wanted to make sure that the people that were, I'll just say this really quick. The people who were secretly watching my channel and or trying to ruin my reputation, some of those people kept on coming into the Discord under different screen names. So we just had to put a little bit of security measures there. So, but it's open for everyone. Everyone is welcome to join. It's a great way to stay connected with the community. And I'm over there quite a bit as well. So it's a great way to, you know, chat and stay connected with me also. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for Movie Punks with Foz Rotten. And we're going to talk about SLC Punk from 1999. Such an amazing film. One of the punkest movies of all time. I can't wait to talk about this one with my guy Foz. So I will see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then on Monday, we're going to do some Backrooms spoiler talk. And keep an eye out for a Backrooms non-spoiler short review. You guys are beautiful. Thank you all so very much. I love each and every single one of you guys. And that is going to wrap it up for this time around. And you guys know how we end things, right? I think you do. I think you do. Here we go. Got to shake out the baddies. Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.